YouTubers, as promised, I did say I was going to continue on this series of making things, and here we are again, today with a sewing kit. The idea with this sewing kit was needles are very important in order to obviously repair your gear when out in the wilds, and obviously there are many ways of carrying them, but I think if you can make something functional and pretty at the same time, then you might as well do it, right? So anyway, so I believe this is a bit of beech. Again, I recycle a lot of wood, so don't quote me exactly on what wood this is. It was from an old table I took apart. So with it, it's obviously the bit of beech, well I think is beech, like a little mahogany sort of bead, a bit of leather thonging, some of that cordage, that fishing line I spoke to you about in my everyday carry pocket video, really strong, and I think it does a good job replacing cotton in my opinion. So basically, yeah, you literally open it up, you just pull this, undo the bead, and that basically pulls through, and then you open it up, and inside I keep a little file, a little triangular file, very handy because you can actually sharpen your needles with it, and the needles that come out of a little square hole, basically. This other side here is basically just a locating pin to allow this to shut nicely. That is just another one of these files. It's like the tip of this one of these triangular files, one of the handles, sorry, just set in with some epoxy, and yeah, so you carry your needles, a little file, there's another one there that escaped, and obviously the cordage that goes around the side. What's nice is you can actually have the cordage still attached to one of the needles and have it poked through, so it's sort of ready to go if you like. And the other neat thing was that obviously this is the handle, but this actually pulls out and it's an awl, so you can it's very handy having an awl when you are sort of stitching things. So if you're going through something a bit heavier, like a piece of leather for example, so if you've got a piece of leather and you need to stitch it, you can obviously use a thimble and a needle, or you've obviously got your awl, which will punch through quite happily to then allow you to put your needle through when stitching and repairing your knife sheath or something like that. Yeah, so that was just made of it's quite a high carbon piece of stainless. I mean, it doesn't really rust, but it's nice and sharp, do you know what I mean? And it even gives you the ability to sew with it, with much heavier fabrics obviously. It literally goes in, that goes in. I try not to stab myself with this needle I just dropped. You could probably fit a few more needles in there if you want to get rid of the file, but obviously the file is, you just twiddle it to put it in. The file is also handy for sharpening your awl, should you find that become blunt. Literally that twiddles in and goes inside like so, the awl, like that, and it sits in there quite nicely, do you know what I mean? Then obviously thread that back through, peg goes on, bead bead goes on, and you can just slide it down there to sort of lock it off if you like. I'm contemplating making like a little leather sheath for this, but yeah, that is the little sewing kits I'm working on at the moment. Again, it's a prototype. If you've got any suggestions for it or any alterations, I'll be really happy to hear them, because obviously most of my ideas are sort of evolving all the time, do you know what I mean? It's very hard to sort of finalise something when you're in a quest for perfection. Alright, YouTube, well thank you very much for watching, and yeah, I hope you have a good day. Peace.